For those of you who were here last Thursday, it's me again, sorry. And I promised to be twice as quick. The UK and indeed East Anglia have long traditions of immigration. We currently have some 8 million foreign-born people in the UK, about 1 in 8 of us. But more than that, many of us, if not recent migrants, have Roman, Viking, Norman, Saxon, Dutch, African, Caribbean or Indian ancestors. In fact, the number in the UK is probably less than that, about 5 million, because it's a ridiculous statement of people born outside the UK, but a lot of British people were, including Boris Johnson, his origins are actually in Turkey and Germany. But he was born in America, so he technically counts in that 8 million foreign-born migrants living in the UK. Unless you want to class him, therefore, as foreign, the actual number is about 1 in 12 people. Much less than that in Norfolk, but I, for one, actually have no problem in seeing that figure grow. Whatever the figures, though, the important thing to recognise is that we live in a global community, locally expressed. It is community cohesion and communication we need to build on to counter the fear, the hate, and the prejudice. My partner is Dutch, and my own family name has Dutch emigrant roots. In the 16th century, Norwich welcomed Dutch and Flemish people as strangers, till they made up 1/3 of our population, bringing new skills that enhanced our then status as England's second most prosperous and prestigious city. Before that, back in the 12th century, Norwich was 7% Jewish. But after the killing of a teenager, posthumously to become St William, it was falsely blamed on local Jews, and so began the blood libel, a persecution and killing of Jews that spread across East Anglia and to Europe from our fine city of Norwich. By the end of the 13th century, all remaining Jews had been expelled from Britain, an episode from our past we're not so proud of. In addition, slavery, empire and commonwealths often coerced contributions to wars, to trade and labour mean that Britain's success owes a moral debt to people from around the world. Economically, we have and continue to thrive on migrant people's hard-working and entrepreneurial spirit. Economic studies show that immigration is a net benefit to us, that immigrant people are more likely to be in work or starting their own trades, paying tax and not claiming benefits than people of long-standing British heritage. Whether people come to Britain fleeing war or terrorism, homophobia, transphobia or poverty, they're all fleeing a threat to life, liberty or livelihood. Even poverty should be considered a slow death, and until Brexit we were the 5th most wealthy economy in the world after Germany, which has twice the percentage of migrant background population and is doing damn well on it. We are fully able to sponsor and support asylum seekers, refugees and even so-called economic migrants because we are doing well and have done well off the back of it in the past. What we have to do, though, is to engage, as I said last Thursday, with British communities that bear the greatest new influxes so that integration becomes successful and positive. London, with over 1/3 foreign national origin people, is a successful example after more than 60 years of immigration and integration. Boston and Great Yarmouth need more time. They need time to adapt, but they need positive inputs and influences. That means that grants and benefits need to fall upon domestic as well as international communities in those areas. Ironically, voting out at Brexit meant that Great Yarmouth will lose those EU grants. It means increased spending on schools, the NHS and community services, not austerity, which falls hardest upon the poor. Doing this will reduce society's divisions, the fear, the hatred, the jealousy and the suspicion. Hate crimes, though, have surged by 40% in England and Wales since the Brexit result. That's over 200 a day, the worst rise the police have ever seen on record. 3 race hate crimes an hour is 3 too many. In fact, that's actually 9 more per hour, because that's the number that go unreported for every one that is reported. So 12 race hate crimes happen per hour. 12 too many. The UK needs to be at the forefront of offering opportunity and safety to all. Freedom of belief, expression, identity and speech, alongside freedom from poverty, persecution, FGM, homophobia, forced marriage, racism and torture. These are the very foundations of a truly forward-thinking country and culture that we need to be and have been and are, and I'm ashamed when isolated incidents don't meet that expectation. Our Home Secretary will become our Prime Minister tomorrow, unopposed. She herself, though, has opposed immigration and despite and after much petitioning has reviewed asylum seeker processes, yet continues to preside over conditions and interrogations of refugees that demand they prove their sexuality or threats back at home in invasive ways in order to have a right to stay here. Theresa May have Tory momentum, and momentum may have a meeting tonight, which means many of them couldn't be here. But we are in Norwich, we actually have migrant momentum, maintaining Norwich's place as a growing city of cultural and international diversity, safety and welcome. And for those of you who want to visit the City Council website, you will find this statement on there. We, as people of Norwich, should be reminded and encouraged to take pride in our ethnic and cultural diversity and rejoin and rejoice in what we can share with and learn from others. Above all, we should be on our guard against anything or anyone who sets out to destroy it. As an institution, Norwich City Council, which is an integral part of city life, we once more declare our abhorrence and utter rejection of any form of injustice and pledge ourselves anew to celebrating cultural diversity and to ensuring that all members of our city feel nurtured and embraced. Now, as I say, I'm going to have a few words with Andrea, who is from Romania, who is actually going to tell us a little about the response she's encountered since the incident last Friday in the early hours. Can you tell people first just a little bit about what happened, very briefly?
Yeah. Hello everyone. So firstly I want to say that I'm really nervous, so I hope everyone will understand me. It's the first time when I speak in English and in front of so many people. So basically a man came in front of our door with a really big, huge brick. He smashed the window and then he, with a bottle of Coke, he just poured some, we don't know, petrol. And then with a match, he lighted the fire. And we saw his face, he did it on purpose, he had gloves, he had his face covered. So it was really, really, I can't express what I felt when I saw those images. It was just really, really, something really bad.
So what was it like then to go from experiencing that to then seeing how a community responded to you?
Yeah, so when we saw that, our first thought was to cry, of course, and then we said we'll just have to close everything and go. We didn't know if we'll have money to fix everything, but then everything changed, and I don't have words. I think I'll have to learn some new adjectives in English to describe. It was amazing. It was like we couldn't believe. And how I've already said, it's not about the money, but the support. Like to see, I remember a man, he came in our shop when we were cleaning, he gave me 20 pounds and he put his hand on the first product. It was a pudding with 50 or 40p. And he was, no, just leave it. I'll take this and I'll go. Or with the heart. And I read every single one. There are so many kind words, even in Romanian. I can't believe people translated and just wrote in Romanian. It was great. I heard a mom saying about her child that she's really, really proud because her child learned that day to be a better child. Because she came there, she wanted to draw because she was young, she couldn't write, and she drew a heart, she put it on the door, and then she was really happy about herself. So yeah, it's great, it's amazing.
That's absolutely brilliant, because that's the one thing we need to remember, is that people are born without hate. Hate is something that is taught, and I wouldn't want Andrea and her family to have been taught that Norwich was a place of hate, because you've only been here quite a short time.
Well, I've been in England since 2012. I came here to study at university, but in Norwich, no, not yet. I live in Ipswich, but I'm planning to come in September to study again.
Coming to study at UEA, brilliant, good for us, we will gain that. But during the day, on Friday and Saturday, people kept coming by and showing Andrea and things the constant updates to the Just Giving Fund, which quite quickly went up. I remember I saw a video of you being interviewed by someone showing you, oh, it's at this figure now. And I remember coming in and showing you another figure. And by the end of the weekend, it was at £30,000 nearly. What might happen to some of that money?
So we'll use, let's say, half or maybe even half. I don't know how much we need to use to fix everything. And the rest we want to donate because we want to give back everything that we received, of course. And we want to find some charities here in Norwich, and we want to donate back to the people that gave us, so the Norwich people.
It is absolutely fantastic. The way that communities gathered round. People came into the shop to help clear up, to help tidy, and various other people made offers. Gerald's offered to provide, retail equipment that they had. Builders offered to do things. Decorators offered to do things. So to go from hate to love was an example that if a minority mess up in that severe and criminal way, the majority of Norwich, as it did when it voted Remain, the majority of Norwich remains a welcoming city that actually gathers round and supports its community, but most importantly, all of its communities. Have you got any last words?
Well, I want to thank again to everyone, and we have to be good people with good hearts, and we have to keep doing good things. Even I learned a lot. I want to volunteer more, I want to donate more, because it means a lot for the one you do it. It means a lot, even if it's for you it's just £5 or just 1 hour of volunteering. For the one you do it, it's a lot. Yeah, and that's why this is what I learned, and I want to thank again. I saw some of the guys who helped us to clean the place, and I want to say a big thank you again to those, because there were so many bags of rubbish. I don't know what we could have done with those without them. They came with their cars, they took everything, and now the shop looks like new. Thank you.
That's absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Andrea. You can actually Google and I think find an old article on the EDP that actually talks about the fact that Magdalen Street, where it happened, is actually, I think, the most diverse street in Norfolk. So after all this, please go and visit Magdalen Street and visit its many internationally run stores. Thank you all.